Angela Norman. I want to thank you. It has really been a true pleasure to work with you leading the way. And also, what a lovely musical performance earlier by Edith. So let's give them. Once again, I want to offer a special thanks to Old National Bank for its leadership and being our title sponsor for today's luncheon. Hello, everyone. My name is Felicia Davis Blakley. I use she, her pronouns, and I have the honor to lead the great work at Chicago Foundation for Women. Yeah, you all get, that's good. Thank you. I am really glad to see all of your faces. I mean, really, from the warmest place in my heart, thank you for being here today. And I have to offer a couple special thanks as well to my mom, Denise, who's here, on whose shoulders I stand, my dear husband, Derek, and all my family members who are here today to support me. Thank you, because you can't do this work without family. How are y'all feeling? Really, that's like an honest question. How are you feeling? Because we've been through a lot. I mean, look back at 2021. It's been an exhausting year for many of us. There were ups and downs. It felt like an emotional roller coaster. The COVID-19 pandemic has been a constant whirlwind of information, flattened curves, later peaks, masking policies, different variants. It's a lot. It's a little dizzying, to be honest. And many are feeling tired and even a little bit more dizzy from this tumultuous emotional roller coaster we've been riding since early 2020. So how are y'all feeling? Additionally, I have an added complex layer of emotions around the fall of Roe. I am angry at the cruelty of politicians who would impose and will impose enormous pain and suffering and possible death on people who have the fewest resources to fight. The post-Dobbs world is a very different place for those who have the least power, low-income women, young women, women of color, victims of incest and abuse, moms already working 2 jobs just to support their families. I can't honestly say that I never thought that we'd be here, but in the deepest part of me, I still mourn the loss of rights many, including many of you here today, have fought passionately and tirelessly for over decades. Some of you are in the virtual room and some of you are in the physical space. People like Faye Clayton and Jerry Newton and Marcy Love and Dr. Tony Bond, to name a few. I am also concerned about the other threats, the other rights that are now under extreme threat. However, I find solace in the true resiliency across the globe and right here in our own backyard that we can look to for inspiration. From Iran to Ukraine, California to Vermont, and across Chicago's south and west sides, women, girls, trans, and gender non-binary folks are leading the charge for justice. Justice now and justice for all. We are proud to see our home state of Illinois re-elect leaders who stand with women to defend our rights. A recent Chicago poll highlighted that nearly 75% of respondents saw that this midterm election as the most important upcoming election, more so even than the upcoming municipal election in the spring of 2023. And at CFW, we asked our Instagram followers what their top issues were related to the election. 60% of the respondents said reproductive health, and 40% said the economy. Those priorities were clearly front and center as you took to the voting booths to cast your ballots last week. We made our voices heard, undivided as a force, driving our mission forward to keep Illinois a safe haven for all women. Not to mention the wave across the country. All 50 states have now elected to send women to Washington. At least 135 women will serve in the 118th Congress in 2023, and that number will likely grow as 22 women remain in congressional contests too close to call. 12 women will serve as governors, which is also a new record. First female governors were elected in New York, Massachusetts, and Arkansas. And Vermont sent the state's first woman and first LGBTQ person ever elected to Congress from that state. And here in Illinois, the number of LGBTQ officials increased by 10% from 50 to 54. And on top of that, voters in California, Michigan, Vermont enshrined reproductive rights in their constitutions, while Kentucky voters said no to a proposal that would have rejected abortion protections in the state constitution. And also coming up short was a Montana abortion-related referendum that raised the prospect of criminal charges for healthcare providers who provide abortion care. There is still work to be done. We are still here, and we will always strive for justice. We forge on changing hearts, changing minds, building this movement undivided. There is a special energy that emanates in a room full of our CFW family and community, and I hope you feel it because I certainly do. Joining together today, whether you are here with us or signing on virtually, we are reminded of the power of community. The warmth and resilience of our community are unparalleled, with our shared commitment to equity and justice as the through line that ties us all together. And as we stand in community undivided, I know that we can and we will channel our power to topple the barriers erected to divide us. This year's luncheon theme, Undivided, Power and Resistance. Undivided means not separated into parts or pieces, existing as a whole and not divided. What this means for CFW is coalescing all of our identities to push past these extraordinarily difficult circumstances as a collective. We will grapple with these consequences for years to come, which is why it's more important than ever that we take a stand. In fiscal year 2022, CFW invested $3.4 million through 230 grants to support women, girls, trans, and gender non-binary individuals across the Chicago region. This was the foundation's most significant grant making to date. And these investments included an additional $200,000 awarded to organizations and efforts to strengthen the reproductive justice movement. The theory of reproductive justice was born right here in Chicago, and one of the movement's founding mothers is helping us to develop a cohort of reproductive justice champions that will ensure that Chicago is the leader for reproductive justice in the Midwest. Thank you, Dr. Tony Bond. Undivided funding and collaboration are needed now more than ever, and we must dream big, ensuring that our tent is wide and that we center the voices of those most negatively impacted by this decision. Today, I can tell you the road ahead, as is borrowing a phrase from Norm, is still bumpy, but I'm encouraged by the renewed fight for equity across the globe. We have a critical opportunity for women and girls, trans and non-binary individuals, not only in Chicago, but across the world, to assert our place in all the rooms where decisions are made. Chicago Foundation for Women has been at the front lines, connecting resources where they're needed most. And we continue our work dismantling systems designed to limit access to health care, impede economic progress and opportunity, and perpetuate gender-based violence. We do this work through grant-making, advocacy, and community building. And as you hear from CFW staff, grantees, and